on my second layout for the StoryKitCrush series using the Senses Story Kit from Ali Edwards. If you haven't caught my first layout, I will go ahead and leave a link up at the eye for you so you can go and check that out. Today we are diving into a double page 6x8 layout that's going to go inside of my daughter's story album. This one I decided to use the 5 senses little 2x3 cards. So we've got hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, seeing. I'm going to use these to tell the story of being a chaperone for my daughter's field trip at the end of the school year. So I have already printed off my journaling inside of these little cards. I do have a tutorial for how to do this, kind of, sorta. It shows it more for 3x4 and 4x6 cards, but the same principles apply. I will also have that linked up at the eye in case you're looking for a tutorial on how to add text to your physical cards from your computer. I do caveat use Photoshop for that, but I do also show it inside of Microsoft Word as well. Okay, so we've got these 5 little cards here. I've also printed off 6 photos, and I'm going to cut one additional 2x3 card. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that right now. So the pattern paper I'm using here is from the Ali Edwards quarterly scrapbooking kit, and this one was with the theme of stars. I loved the colors in this pattern in particular. I felt like they went perfectly with the colors of the Senses story kit. I'm curious to see if my corner rounder will end up being the same. I don't think it is. I think it's a slightly different. So let's just go ahead and hand trim the corners on these as well. So I wanted to have 6 columns that included my text inside of the cards and then also the photos up above it that sort of kind of represent whatever it is I'm talking about inside of the journaling card. And I thought that it would be really a fun way to represent the entire field trip, all of the different activities that we did on the field trip in this one page. But there are only 5 senses. So I wanted to use the 6th one as a way to create a title card here. So I'm just going to use the 5 senses banner on top of this little now that I have cut it out card, and then we'll stick the rest of them along the 6x8 page. So I've also pre-cut out 2 pieces of white cardstock. These are both for outside of the page protector. I trimmed mine down to 6.875 inches by 8.25, but you can also just round up and trim it off at 7 as well. I keep mine at the 6.825. Did I say that right? 6.825. Yes. I keep mine at that because that's what I've been using for years. And in order for everything to line up right inside of the album, I just need it to all be trimmed down to the same width. All right, so we're going to use my hole punch to go ahead and add the holes into the white cardstock because I want to make sure that I'm not adding anything important on top of those holes because it would then be cut off. All right, so now let's see, do I have these in order? I do not have these in order. Okay, I'm gonna double check myself just to see what the order was that I had planned to put these in. Okay, so now I've got it. So we've got the walking photo and then the butterfly photo and then the cookie photo, fire station, police station, and back at school. Okay, so we've got all 6 photos across the way there. This is going to go underneath the first photo with my title. It says 5 senses. Then we've got touching, tasting, hearing, smelling, and seeing. So it's going to look like this when all is said and done. What I need to decide now is whether I want to prop some of these up or all of these up. So if I left the photos down but propped up these, or do I want to leave those down and prop up these? I kind of think I want to do that. So let's just go for it. So once again, I am going to be using my favorite handy dandy tool here, foam tape, in order to give these some dimension. So I think what I'm going to do is just do 3 rows, and that should give it enough stability to stay up. Yeah, that'll be good enough. All right, so I'm going to do that for all of these, and then we'll jump back in once I've got the tape all on. All right, so there we have it. They're all foam taped. So next we can go ahead and stick them down. So I'm going to try to position these as evenly as possible on the page. I think I will leave these title cards or the journaling cards lower just to give it a little bit of variation, because if everything were propped up, not that that wouldn't look cool, I think it would look cool, but I like there to be a little bit of variance. Okay, so let's stick this down. Here we go. All right, so I've got the photos on there, and one thing I should have mentioned earlier that I don't think I did is the size of these photos. I printed them at 2 inches wide, so they're the same width as these journaling cards, and then they are they're almost 5 inches tall. They're probably 4.875 inches. But you could also maybe get away with going at 5 inches. I just wanted there to be a bit of a gap between the top and the middle and the bottom. So that's why I cut mine down to just a little bit less than 5 inches. Okay, so next we're going to add the journaling cards underneath. This I'm just going to use roller adhesive. No need to get anything stronger than that out. And making sure to line these up. I'm going to use my tweezers because that sometimes can help me to make sure I'm getting things on straight and even, or as straight and even as possible. Okay, looks like right there. And then we'll do the next one. And for this title one that I have the 5 Senses chipboard to add on to it, I am also going to add the date stamp to that one, probably before I do the chipboard. I think that looks good. So let's figure out the chipboard first. I definitely want the chipboard to go this way. So this was a story from May 20th. So let's adjust that first. So we've got May 2022. And then I think what I want to do is have this go along the same diagonal. All right, let's make sure this is kind of sort of even. All right, so the same diagonal as with the chipboard will go on there. I like that. Yay. And then we'll put this away so I don't get ink on something by accident, and put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this. Add it onto the title piece here. Okay. There we go. Then I can also stick this one down. Whoops. On the first page here. All right, so make sure we're even and press it down. Okay, so let me just do the other ones here and then we'll see if there's anything else that I want to add. All right, friends, so I have all those down and I'm not going to add anything else to this layout. I did consider adding some of my chipboard asterisk stickers on there, but ultimately just felt like it was fine without it. So we're just going to leave it like this, letting the photos and the words tell the story of this page. All right, so I will quickly go ahead and read the journaling from this layout. If you are not interested in hearing the journaling, you can click on the next chapter in the progress bar for this video, and that will take you to the end where you can see close-up images of the layout itself. Okay, so 5 senses. So we start with touching. For this one, I said, I was so excited to have the opportunity to chaperone Izzy's first grade field trip. We met up at her classroom and walked downtown to visit a few of the businesses or city buildings together. I was in charge of a group of 3 girls. On our walk, we took a turn holding the bingo card and marking off the things we could find. The girls also picked flowers. So the touching part of that was holding the bingo card, picking the flowers, things that the kids were touching and feeling as we went on our walk. Tasting. Our first stop in town was at the local bakery, Crust. We weren't able to go inside, but we did visit the outside of the building and looked through the windows at the bakers making bread. Mrs. Clark picked up a box of their famous sea salt chocolate chip cookies to hand out to each of the kids. They totally gorged until their stomachs were upset from all of the sugar. So tasting the cookies. Hearing. Our second stop was at the local fire station. This was actually my first time visiting inside as well. We first sat and listened to the fire chief describe what firemen do and how they respond to emergencies. The kids did a great job staying attentive and raising their hands to answer questions. Then we went back to the garage and got to see the fire trucks up close. So hearing, listening to the fire chief. Next, smelling. Our final stop for the class was the police station. It was funny to listen to the officer tease the kids with his rough and tough demeanor. He led the kids into the city jail and toured us through the different cells. The kids exclaimed that the jail cells smelled terrible and panicked a bit when the officer pretended to close them in. The kids really loved this stop. And then seeing. After exploring the town and walking back to their school, it was time to say goodbye. I really enjoyed seeing Izzy interact with her classmates and getting to know a couple of her friends. I'm hoping that more of these opportunities come up and that I'll continue to be in a place where I can show up and participate. I know it meant a lot to Izzy and it sure as heck meant a lot to me. So there we go. That, friends, is my layout for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this one came together. I hope this inspires you to create a layout that includes a lot of words and a lot of photos and maybe some kind of cool grid type of project. If you have been a chaperone for a child's field trip, let me know in the comments down below how your experience went and what did you do? Where did you go on the field trip with your child's class? I am going to be back again next week on Friday with another StoryKitCrush project using the Senses Story Kit. Also, if you enjoyed this one, I would love a thumbs up down below and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos I have coming your way. Until next time, friends, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend ahead, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.